Tiger, Tiger. The incoming radars were spotted by a radar station, but the radar station mistook them for a flight of B-17s due in from the mainland. The B-17s arrive and, like America itself, find themselves in the middle of a war that had not yet been declared. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is Tora, 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 the surprise Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. We've taken you back to that fateful morning of December 7th, 1941, 7:55 a.m. The attack from the Japanese aircraft carriers Akagi, and two new carriers, the Shogoku and Shikoku, lasts an hour and 45 minutes. As you see these planes in front of you, you can imagine what it must have been like with 183 fighters and bombers from Japan's first air fleet. When the first bombs began to fall, Army Air Corps pilots Kenneth Taylor and George Welsh were just returning from a night on the town. These two pilots raced to their planes, which were fueled and armed with .30 caliber ammunition for aerial combat practice, and quickly found themselves in the middle of the real thing. The two second lieutenants caught up with the Japanese at Iwa, a Marine base and auxiliary field close to Pearl Harbor and Hickam. After shooting down two Japanese Val dive bombers, Taylor and Welch ran out of ammunition, landed at Wheeler Field near the center of the island. There, Taylor and Welch reloaded with .30 and .50 caliber ammo and took off to fight again. These two brave pilots are credited with downing a total of 6 Japanese warplanes before their own warplanes were disabled. Both pilots received a Distinguished Service Cross for their actions that infamous day. And you can imagine what it must have been like that infamous day with that Japanese fighter right down on the ground doing strafing runs. Yes, this is Tora, 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 the surprise Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor with 183 Zeros, Vals, and Kates wreaking havoc on Pearl Harbor and Hickam Field. At Pearl Harbor and Hickam, the devastation was awesome. On the eastern edge of Ford Island, in the center of the harbor, 7 battleships lay at berth. The California, Oklahoma, West Virginia, Tennessee, Arizona, and the Nevada. The initial wave of Kates hit the torpedo. Hit the Oklahoma, rather, the California and the Nevada with special shallow running torpedoes. Also included was the West Virginia and the Utah. These Kates were equipped with special shallow running torpedoes designed specifically for the attack on Pearl Harbor. You see, the shallow waters at Pearl Harbor would not allow the use of normal deep running torpedoes. So the Japanese had lost their excuse that this was an attack of opportunity. It was planned well in advance. Then came the Val dive bombers. High overhead to your left, the red-tailed airplane, armed with 1,700-pound armor-busting projectiles, made for 16-inch battleship guns, but converted to aerial bombs. These planes dived down on the Nevada and Arizona. Anti-aircraft fire veered the valves away from the Nevada on the first wave, but the Arizona ultimately wasn't that lucky. A bomb from a Kate bomber stabbed the Arizona through her forward magazines and exploded, touching off more than 1,000,000 pounds of gunpowder. A sailor on the Nevada watched the Arizona jump at least 15 to 20 feet up in the water and break into two, forever entrapping 1,200 American servicemen in an underwater tube. The ship sank in less than 3 minutes. Yes, you can understand what it must have been like that fateful morning, December 7th, 1941. Tora, 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 the surprise Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. High overhead, the Val dive bombers. Coming in from your left, the Kate torpedo bombers with those special shallow running torpedoes. The Zeros doing strafing runs, the fighters doing strafing runs. Yes, this is Tora, Tora, Tora. At Marine Corps Air Station Iwa, PFC Melvin Thompson was on guard duty when 9 Zeros attacked the base. He stepped out of his guard shack, drew his .45 caliber and fighting spirit, describing the lone Marine as the bravest American I have ever seen. All over the island, soldiers were bringing their weapons to bear in the fight. the 45 pistols, the M1903 Springfield rifles. In some cases, our soldiers were able to get the 30 caliber and 50 caliber belt-fed machine guns into action, bringing down numerous marauding Japanese Zeros, Vals, and Kates. But the effort was not enough to forestall the utter devastation of that surprise Japanese attack with 183 fighters and bombers. Meanwhile, at Bellows Field on the northeast coast of the island, more U.S. Army Air Corps pilots were racing to their P-40 Warhawks. Just then, Japanese Zeros appeared and started strafing runs. One P-40 pilot was killed as he stepped into his cockpit. Two other P-40s were down just as they got off of the ground. The surprise Japanese attack was almost a total and complete success. Only about 9 Japanese airplanes were shot down in the entire hour and 45-minute ballot. And you're seeing it in front of you. The Kate torpedo bombers coming in very low with their shallow running torpedoes. High overhead, the Val dive bombers diving down. And the Zeros coming in from your left, doing the strafing run, dropping their wing bombs. Yes, this is Tora, Tora, Tora. 16 B-17s coming from the mainland arrive and are immediately attacked by the marauding Japanese Zeros. In the confusion, the B-17s were shot at by friend and foe, and the frightened crews landed wherever they could. One in a pineapple field not far from Hickam Field. Yes, ladies and gentlemen and kids, this is a very important piece of history of World War II. Prior to December 7th of 1941, the American public wasn't aware of any involvement in World War II. We were contributing to the war effort in China and in Europe, but we weren't participating in any formal fashion. But that was about to change because of what you see being performed in front of you right now. The surprise Japanese attack at 7:55 a.m., December 7th of 1941. Tora, Tora, we've taken you back to that infamous day with airplanes that look just like the ones that came from those Japanese aircraft carriers. Japanese Zero fighters with machine guns and wing bombs. The Val dive bombers going by. The Kate torpedo bombers coming in from the left. 183 of them pounded Pearl Harbor, Hickam Field, and the rest of the main island of Hawaii that fateful morning of December 7th, 1941. And we've taken you back to that action that happened that particular day. Tora, Tora, Tora. Listen to the sound of the engines, the sound of gunfire, and witness the explosions. And you can imagine, if you were a soldier or a sailor, what it must have been like that fateful morning. One of our B-17 pilots just arriving, a Major Landon, trying to land, said, "What a hell of a way to enter a war. Out of gas, unarmed, and no cameras out. A final salute to everyone here at Wings Over Maine, Seymour Johnson Air Force Base." Number 111, Partridge Hutchins, also from the Houston area. Number 112, Ron Wright from Huntsville, north of Houston. Then our Kate 356, Bob Watts from Muskogee, Oklahoma. The other Kate flown by Mike Hastings from Tulsa, Oklahoma. The Val flown today by Craig Hutane from Conroe, Texas, and from South Houston, Texas in number 114. Dan Reed. My name is Ray Norton. I'm from McAllen, Texas, in the Rio Grande Valley in South Texas. Our pyro lead is Gordy Webb from Springport, Michigan. We are Tora, Tora, Tora. Performance characteristic display of the North American AT-6 Texan, which is the airplane from which these Zero replicas were made. And that's an inside or barnstormer's loop, also because the cockpit outfitted, the airplane remains on the inside of the circle he's scribing in the sky. And a little aileron roll at the end. Great giant barrel roll. And Jim decided this was something he wanted to do.